Right friends, welcome back to Capsule-2. This is the Prime Minister's visit to Tanzania and Kenya. These are third and fourth countries. If you look at the visit of the Prime Minister to Africa, if you look at Tanzania, please look into the slide. The capital is Dodoma, but the largest city is Dar es Salaam, and the currency is Tanzanian shilling, and the population is around 5 crores or 50 million. And this is one of the countries in Great Lakes region of Africa. Please look into the slide. This is Great Lakes region of Africa. And if you look at the other aspects, highest mountain in Africa, that is Kilimanjaro. This is situated in northeastern part of Tanzania. Please look into the slide. This is the highest mountain with height of 5,895 meters, and there are two official languages in Tanzania, that is Swahili and English. And if you look at Kenya, please look into the slide. This is Kenya, and here the capital and the largest city is Nairobi, and the currency is Kenyan shilling, and population is around 4.5 crore or 45 million. And the Africa's second highest mountain, that is Mount Kenya, is situated in Kenya, and it is 5,199 meters height, and equator passes through this country, and it has got two official languages, English and Kiswahili, right? And if you look at the visit of the Prime Minister to Tanzania, 5 agreements or MOUs were signed, and line of credit of $92 million for rehabilitation and improvement of Zanzibar's water supply system. And at the same time, memorandum of understanding on establishment of Vocational Training Center at Zanzibar. Please look into the slide. This is the location of Zanzibar. And the other agreement is between NSIC India and SIDO Tanzania, basically with regard to skill development. So overall 5 agreements or MOUs were signed, and the most important aspect is the Prime Minister interacted with the solar mamas. You may ask what is meant by solar mama? The persons who got trained to fabricate and maintain solar lanterns and lighting system. They are called solar mamas. The Prime Minister interacted with 30 rural women who are known as solar mamas from 6 countries in Africa. And important and interesting aspect is the vocational skills of maintaining these solar lanterns were developed by Barefoot College. You may ask, where is Barefoot College? Please look into the slide. Barefoot College was started by social activist Bankar Roy. The original name was Social Work and Research Center, started in Tilonia in Rajasthan, established in 1972 and founded by social activist Bankar Roy, and it is associated with working in the fields of education, skill development, women empowerment and electrification through solar power. And the Prime Minister interacted with these solar mamas in Tanzania, and here the cooperation in vocational training between India's non-governmental organization and Africa is clearly evident, and this differentiates our interaction with African countries when you compare with China's interaction with African countries. And the next visit of the Prime Minister is the last one to Kenya, and the President of Kenya is Uhuru Kenyatta. And at present, Kenya has got around 60,000 Indian origin people and 20,000 Indian nationals. Here in Kenya, 7 agreements or MOUs were signed. They include in the field of defense and security, at the same time for avoidance of double taxation. And one important aspect is extension of concessional line of credit of $44.95 million to the African nation to help it in development of small and medium enterprises and textiles. And then India assured that it will build a cancer hospital in Kenya. And please don't forget, almost 10,000 people from Kenya every year come to India for medical treatment. And both the countries stated that terrorism and radicalization are twin challenges. And if you look at further engagements in Kenya, the Prime Minister addressed 20,000 strong Indian diaspora at Kasarani Stadium, Nairobi, and this was also attended by President Kenya Uhuru Kenyatta. And at the same time, the Prime Minister addressed students in University of Nairobi, Kenya. And finally, the Prime Minister also addressed India-Kenya Business Forum. So, with this, the Prime Minister's visit to 4 African nations concluded. And finally, the critical appraisal, most of the things we discussed in the news capsule of last week, in view of the Prime Minister's visit, we released one capsule, PM in Africa. There we discussed several aspects, and let us now once again critically appraise how the Prime Minister's visit went along in African countries. More emphasis on social issues like institution building, health care, skill development, solar energy, pharmaceuticals. In fact, India is in the forefront in supplying generic medicines to several African countries. And the Prime Minister stated that India will build cancer hospital in Nairobi. At the same time, one of the MOUs in Tanzania pertain to the cooperation in skill development. So, the modalities, or you can say the plan of action of India with African countries is entirely different from that of China. So, India is basically looking at institution building, people to people contacts, and India wants to make significant impact in sectors like education, healthcare, skill development. And one clear example is the solar mamas of Africa. Then a line of credits for water supply, MSMEs, textiles. These are examples of the cooperation so as to have maximum impact on the African people. And at the same time, India tried to strike a chord with the historical, colonial, cultural similarities between Africa and India, because the Prime Minister visited 3 places of historical significance when Mahatma Gandhi stayed in South Africa. Then emphasis was made on shared vision for the future in maritime security, tackling terrorism, climate change. And this is totally in contrast with China's image of exploiter in several African countries. But the biggest challenges, there are 2 biggest challenges. One biggest challenge is China's economic clout in several African countries. And the second important challenge is there are several attacks on African students in recent times in India. And India has to overcome these 2 challenges. Right friends, with this let us conclude capsule number 2. Please do join for other capsules. We are going to deliberate on the Draconian Law, Armed Forces Special Powers Act, then South China Sea, and many more this week. Have a nice day. Thank you.